All right. Well, hello everyone. Good morning. Somehow it's already August. So thanks for joining us for our Preparing for Falls Prevention Awareness Month webinar, since September is right around the corner. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Suzanne Morley. I'm a health promotion program coordinator with the Wisconsin Institute for Healthy Aging, and I coordinate the Falls for Wisconsin webinar. So this webinar is brought to you by the Falls for Wisconsin Coalition, which is a statewide falls prevention collaborative made up of local falls and injury prevention coalitions, as well as community-based organizations, health and managed care organizations, public safety, and others who are interested and passionate about reducing falls in the state. I know many of you are familiar with the work of WEHA, and then if you're familiar in joining the statewide coalition, if you are not already a member, we'll have information at the end of this webinar that you can do that. Well, let's get right into it, and I will share who is going to be speaking on today's webinar. So as we are excited to be gearing up for Falls Prevention Awareness Month, we wanted to share some local initiatives that are happening throughout the state. So we have Susie Ryer with the Waukesha Falls Prevention Coalition, Shauna Wallish with the Brown County Falls Prevention Partnership, and then Ashley Hillman with Falls Free Dane. So each of them are just going to give a brief overview of their plans in the different communities throughout the state. And then I will kind of wrap things up with a preview of the Falls Prevention Awareness Month resources that are available through the coalition and are available for promoting Falls Prevention Awareness Month this September locally. And if you have any questions, feel free to hold those until the end or drop them in the chat. And I'll also leave some time at the end for everyone on the webinar to share your local plans if you have something that you have going on, or ask any questions then. And we will get right into it with Susie. So Susie, go ahead and share plans for Waukesha County Falls Prevention Coalition.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me. So yeah, my name is Susie Ryer. In addition to being involved in the Falls Free Wisconsin State Steering, I've also helped to lead both our Milwaukee County Falls Prevention Coalition, and most recently am serving as one of the tri-chairs to the newly formed Waukesha Falls Prevention Coalition. Next slide, please. One more. So we're a fairly new coalition, so I just wanted to get a little overview on kind of the Waukesha Coalition, some of the goals that we've set and how we came to be. So we had started some work actually in 2022, looking at the data and looking at the needs in Waukesha County, and the timing wasn't necessarily right for kind of getting things off the ground, but in 2023, we found that the Waukesha County Community Health Improvement Plan was going to be focusing on healthy aging as one of their three tenants identified during their community assessment. And so within that subgroup of healthy aging, kind of one of the subcategories of focus was to improve safety around falls, and in particular that people 60 plus in Waukesha County will be safe from falls. So that served as a really nice catalyst for us to look at some of the work being done, some of the key indicators and goals within the county, which were to reduce ED visits, hospitalizations, and 911 calls for falls. And so the work that we had started in terms of wanting to form a coalition really aligned with this. And so you'll see under strategy 3 within the Community Health Improvement Plan is collaborating and getting our Waukesha County Falls Prevention Coalition off the ground. Next slide, please. So we are a coalition that currently already has 20 members. We had our kickoff meeting back in March, and we are led by tri-chairs from within Aurora Healthcare, as well as the ADRC of Waukesha County. We meet bi-monthly for 90 minutes and have a hybrid of virtual and in-person events. So as we are fairly new, what we're really trying to focus on is starting to build some brand recognition within the community, and start to really expand our ability to get out and address the issue of awareness around fall prevention, put together some great resources and be able to distribute these kind of widely throughout Waukesha County, as well as eventually working to increase our education and workforce training as well. So with that, I'll tell you a little bit about what we have planned for Fall Prevention Week. So next slide. So we're going to be focusing a little small this year, but what we really wanted to do is to get kind of a large footprint and have a chance to really engage our coalition members in being able to outreach to the community. So this year we're focusing on the 7 Waukesha County dining sites that are spread throughout the footprint. And we're going to be trying to engage with people kind of in a small, more informal setting. So we have teams of 2 that are being set up to go out to each of these 7 dining sites and actually sit down with the diners while they're eating, rotating every 10 minutes and having kind of some small conversations that focus on some key talking points. We learned from others in the community that this was a really successful strategy that's been used with some of the other nutrition programs, as well as some of the other health promotion activities, because it allows them to really have good conversations with the individual diners and really to tap into some of that adult learning principles and having people share their own experiences and successes. So the groups will be moving around to the various dining tables. And we've crafted some scripting and some key talking points for our facilitators to really guide the conversations. So focusing on things like the fact that falls are preventable, encouraging people to understand that risk factors are going to vary from individual to individual, and to promote the idea of getting screened annually. And then also to talk about some of the key interventions such as home modification and exercise. We've also developed some 1-pagers that address these key talking points and provide some quick tips and resources. And we'll also be bringing flyers for some of the fall prevention programs that are available within Waukesha County, particularly stepping on classes that are coming up, as well as ballroom basics, which are 2 that were identified early in our coalition work as being successful programs within the county. Next slide. That might be it. So again, we're starting small this year, and the goal was really just to get out into the community and to do something that was kind of a minimalist lift that allowed us to start to engage with the community a little bit more.
Thanks, Susie. Considering your coalition is so brand new and you already have this robust plan, it seems like, and kind of doing something tried and true with the dining sites, it's really great to see that. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Any questions for Susie? Feel free to drop those in the chat, and we'll kind of get to those as they come in. But we are going to move right along and hear about Brown County Falls Prevention Partnerships Plan. Take it away, Shauna.
All right, thank you. My camera's not working, so you won't be able to see me, but you should all be able to hear me. Again, my name is Shauna, work with Green Bay Metro Fire. I currently sit as the chair for the Brown County Fall Prevention Partnership. And we have a few exciting events, and I can kind of talk about those individually. So if we go on to the next slide. All right, so this is our 3rd year holding this event, Freedom from Falls in Brown County. We've had a lot of success with it, and what it is it's over a 3-hour period, but it's an hour of speakers. And what it looks like is we have folks that come in, they register for the event, they can participate in balance screenings provided by one of our local hospital systems. And then I believe it's 10 o'clock is when the speaking part of this starts. And that includes an ER physician talking about some of the things that they see in the hospital systems regarding falls. I have a portion regarding some home safety things that first responders might run into and how some of those incidents can be prevented. We have a physical therapist that goes through some exercises along with a pharmacist, and then also a speaker from the ADRC. So we do have those balance screenings before and after the event. And then we also have resource tables with some of the other organizations that are part of the Brown County Falls Prevention Partnership. So this has been a really fun event. And we're really excited to have it again this year. But from the feedback, most people have been really engaged, and we've also been able to funnel folks that have participated into some of the stepping on programming and other fall related programs that are offered through our local ADRC. We can go to the next slide. All right, and then this is our 2nd time having this event on September 23rd. So this is an open house event. And again, it's kind of set up with the balance screenings provided by Aurora Baycare. And then we also have a room where we're going through the Falls Free Wisconsin Home Safety Challenge with some of our community paramedics. We did this last year. We had 2 screens going and people were able to walk through, sit down, and the paramedic was able to operate the computer and take some of the technology parts with that. So they were really able to engage with participants coming through and have personal conversations about their own living situations. And that we got a lot of really good feedback from that. This year we are changing it up a little bit and having a feet first presentation, just that hour, talking about, you know, preventing falls, but also to things that people can do in their home and some of the other programs available. And then we do have De Pere Health is going to be promoting some of their Rugs for Mugs event, which will be part of this, along with some more resource tables too from organizations that are part of our fall prevention group. So these are our 2 mainstay events. We are trying to work with just local politicians, like the city mayor, possibly about doing a video promoting some of these events coming up, and talking about just fall prevention awareness too. And then lastly, because I don't think I have a slide on it, but De Pere Public Health will also be starting up shortly their bingo size program, which they had last year, which was also really successful. And I did see a question pop up, what is Rugs for Mugs? So that is when people can get rid of their rugs that may be part of a you know, trip hazard in their home. They can bring those rugs in and receive a mug. And there are coffee shops in the area that partner. So if they bring that coffee mug in, they can receive a free cup of coffee or a discount with that. So that is a little bit about that Rugs for Mugs program. I know De Pere County or De Pere Public Health has it. Also, I believe Oshkosh Fire Department too was also running with that program in the past too. So, but yeah, that concludes some of the main things that we have going on this September for Brown County. Oh, yes. And I did hit on some of this too, with the public safety announcement with just city officials, but we are going to be putting a media release early in September just to try and get local media involved and try and promote some of this. And we've also been working really closely with the ADRC and their marketing area, our department, to get a toolkit. So that way, every organization within our Brown County Fall group gets the same information. They can take it to their organization and blast it out on their social media sites and their appropriate avenues. So we're trying that out this year, just to better improve making people know that, hey, we got this cool stuff going on, and share it, talk about it, and hopefully we see more attendance. So, but yeah, that concludes my part. Does anybody have any questions at all?
Thank you, Shauna, for sharing this. I'm gonna just go back a slide and just highlight the diverse things that you guys have going on. You're doing resource and informational tables. Love the incorporation of the Falls to Wisconsin Home Safety Challenge, knowing that that was successful for you guys last year. Presentations, the balance screenings, and the Rugs for Mugs. So lots of great things happening in Brown County this year again. Thanks for sharing, Shauna. Well, if there are any questions for Shauna, feel free to drop those in the chat. I know there was that one question about the Rugs for Mugs. We do have more information about that on our Falls for Wisconsin website, and I can share a little bit more about that towards the end of the webinar as well. All right, and then last but not least, we have Ashley Hillman with Falls Free Dane saying a little bit about what Dane County is planning for Falls Prevention Awareness Month this year.
Thanks, Suzanne. It's good to be here today with you all. So we have 2 events in September. One is an event at Brittingham Apartments, which is a primarily an underserved area of our community. So we're bringing the program to residents who live there. So we'll have a physical therapist talk a little bit about falls prevention and effective ways to prevent a fall, and then lead everyone through some Tai Chi. She's also a certified stepping on facilitator and a Tai Chi instructor. And then we always provide lunch. The event is free, and then we'll provide lots of resources and freebies for participants to take home. So it's an area of Dane County where there are a few different apartment complexes, and there is a large population of older adults living in them. And many of those individuals have barriers like transportation or technology, which is what makes it a really perfect space for us to bring this program to that community. So that will be one event that we have on September 11th. And then on September 24th, we will have our annual Only Leaves Should Fall event. In this event, we've had this event for many, many years. And we're fortunate enough to have Dr. Zorba Pastor as our keynote. He's done this for us several years, and he always draws a huge crowd. So we're hoping to reach possibly around 100 participants. And we are partnering this year with the YMCA, which is new to us. So this is a new partnership. We're very excited about it. So the event will be at one of the Y locations in Dane County. And we have this event is more of a day-long event, well, or half day. So people are able to come, and then we provide lunch. This event also is always free. And then Dr. Pastor speaks, and we partner with UW-Madison and Madison College. So the OTA program at Madison College, nursing, pharmacy, and PT at UW-Madison. And so we have lots of students also on site the day of the event, and we have screening stations set up. So we screen for blood pressure, vision, gait, balance, cognition. There are lots of different stations throughout. So what participants get is what we refer to as a report card. So after the talk, they'll be paired with a student who will then lead them through this progression of screenings. And then by the end of the screenings, they should have a better idea of, first of all, their fall risk, and then secondly, what could be attributed to that fall risk. And then we have resources that they can leave with and, continue on their falls prevention journey. And then a unique aspect of this event is that we do a 30-day follow-up. So we have an evaluation form, and then for anyone who would like that follow-up, they provide their contact information, and then we just check in to see if there are more resources that would be helpful to them, if they have any questions. And it also kind of gives us an opportunity to gauge behavior change. So, did you take what you learned, and did you actually make any changes in your home as far as home safety, or did you sign up for a stepping on workshop? We can kind of gauge that type of thing. So it's a really, really fun event, and we've had a lot of success with it in previous years, so I'm hoping this year is the same. And it really is a success because of the partnerships that we have. It really is a team effort with Falls Free Dane, our university partners, and then, this year, the Y. So that will be our big event in September. And maybe we can have a moment to share how things went after September's over in this space. And that's it for me.
Great, thanks, Ashley. One question I do have for you, did you do the 30-day follow-up in previous years?
Yes, we've done that for the past several years. I don't even know how many, but that is something that we've done, I think, since I've been at Safe Communities. It started as a way to gauge, what did people take from this event, but then it really became hey, how did it go for you? What, like a learning opportunity on our end of things. What can we do to improve it? And it's just been so great to hear some of these stories. I'll just share one quickly. So last year I was doing the follow-up calls, and a lady said, oh my gosh, I have stairs in my house. I walk down the stairs to go to the restroom at least once during the night. And we gave out free night lights along with a bunch of other items. And she said, I put that night light on my stairs, and now I don't have to count the stairs anymore in my head as I'm walking down them. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe you were doing that in the first place. That's awful. But she just felt more confident and not falling and knowing how to prevent that. And we talked about some other things that she could do in her home. And that opportunity, you know, we maybe wouldn't have had that opportunity to have that conversation without that follow-up. So it's been really helpful for many reasons.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That definitely sounds like a valuable part of the program and the event and the follow-up. So thank you. All right. Well, thank you, Susie, Shauna, and Ashley for sharing just little snippets of what you guys have planned in your local communities. Just wanted to kind of plant the seed a little bit for anyone who's maybe thinking about doing something in September but hasn't yet, or if you are looking for some new ideas to implement in September for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. Lots of great resources on the call today, and I'm sure any of them would be happy to kind of talk through their planning and what all goes into their events and their different programs. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit now and talk a little bit about what we have going on through the Falls to Wisconsin Coalition, what resources we have available. Number of different things that we have, including promotional resources. We have social media graphics, and I'll share those on my screen. Our theme this year that the coalition decided on was Age with Confidence, Prevent Falls. We have been talking a lot as a coalition about reaching some of those younger, older adults. So people maybe in their 40s and 50s who maybe aren't thinking about falls prevention for themselves, but are for their parents. So you'll see that theme reflected in the social media graphics and throughout our other materials as well. All of these are available on our website, and I'll go through the website in a little bit as well. We have our social media suggested text and calendar, so you don't have to do anything, any of the work yourself. You can kind of just copy and paste the suggested message. You can tweak as you want to. We have suggested dates and then the image that it goes along with. So all you really have to do is just copy and paste on your social media pages, or you can also share from our Facebook page as well. We have a newsletter article. It is customizable, so you'll see the highlighted options there where you could add the falls free checkup if you have room in your newsletter. And you can add different things like your agency and all of that as well. Same thing with the press release. We have a sample press release where you can add a local quote into and share with your local media stations. We are planning to do a statewide press release as well, but this is something to get into those more local newspapers to share the information even further. And again, we have 2 letters to the editor, and those, of course, as you can see, are customizable as well. Just those really short messages into that letter of the editor section in the newspaper you can submit to your local stations. And then we are doing a couple of consumer webinars this year. We did one in May around National Physical Fitness and Sports Month and physical activity and falls prevention. And we have one coming up in September for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. Again, along the same theme of Age with Confidence, and this one is around home safety. So this is for older adults. So we have the flyer available on our website that's ready to share out. Older adults can register for the webinar. It's being held on September 5th on Zoom, and we have one of our coalition advisory committee members, Dr. Beth Fields, who is an occupational therapist and assistant professor at UW-Madison. We'll be talking about home safety and modifications to prevent falls as we age. And then we'll also be going through our home safety challenge. So the older adults on the webinar can see what that looks like, and they can go through that on their own as well and go through the home safety checklist. In addition to the resources that we have specifically for Falls Prevention Awareness Month, our Falls Free Wisconsin Coalition Awareness Work Group has been doing some quarterly media campaigns throughout the year. In January, wintertime, we did a run around winter safety and shoes. In May, like I said, we did one around National Physical and Fitness and Sports Month. And then we have one coming up with hunting season coming up around September time. We wanted to do a campaign around hunting safety and falls prevention, since there is research that shows that going out in the tree stands, there are a lot of falls that occur with those, and just getting the information and the resources in the hands of some different populations. So in addition to the resources for Falls Prevention Awareness Month, we have this campaign going on kind of in addition to all of the other resources in the same time. want to now just go through the website and talk a little bit more about where the resources are and then talk about our event calendar too. So I'm going to stop sharing and ask Phil to share the website since hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer on her screen. And I'll just talk through those resources.
Sounds good. I am pulling it up right now.
Perfect. And while Jill's
Okay.
pulling that up, I do see a question in the chat. Do counties keep track of the number of falls that occur among older adults? So there are counties that do that, and they have systems in place for doing that. We also collect data, so I'll talk a little bit about where the data is on our page as well. But first, we'll kind of go through those promotional resources. So if you haven't checked out the website, it's fallsfreewi.org. Jill has a home screen shared up right now, and then if you go to the For Professionals section, and then way at the bottom, the promotional resources, that's where you can find all of the resources that I just shared. So once you get to the page, you just scroll down just a little bit, and there's just introduction there, and it links to our Facebook page. And then this right here is where you'll find all of the Falls Free Wisconsin Falls Prevention Awareness Month resources. So Jill, if you click on that first drop down, that's where all of the resources I just shared are, the letter to the editor, everything you can download right there. You can download the zip folder of the social media graphics. And then also I just wanted to highlight too, there is a National Falls Prevention Awareness Week toolkit. So in September, if you're not aware, we do Falls Prevention Awareness Month, but nationally it's Falls Prevention Awareness Week. And that is September 23rd to the 27th. And that toolkit is through the National Council on Aging. So there are some additional resources you could also use during that week. The national theme is From Awareness to Action, and there are 6 steps to prevent a fall, and all of their resources are there as well. And then that link for the consumer webinar is there too, and all of the social media graphics. So you can see there we have quite a few different ones. And then if you click on that Falls Free Autumn drop down, these are resources. Again, hunting season starts, I believe, mid-September in Wisconsin, but goes through the end of the year. So these are resources that can be used starting in mid-August, just to kind of start that conversation, but then again can be used throughout the end of the year as well. And then here at the bottom, you'll see all of our year-round resources. So in addition to all of the Falls Prevention Awareness Month resources, we have consumer handouts, we have other social media posts and graphics and suggested text, other newsletter articles, talking points, different things like that. I'll just highlight the public service announcements if you want to click on that one. So just newly added were the audio files. So you don't have to recreate the wheel. If you have a local radio station, you can share that, or a podcast with your organization. You can download, I believe those are 30-second audio ads. And then we, in addition, have 30-second video ads that you can share on your social media, on your websites. And then we have another one currently that's running, it just started about a week or so ago. So you'll start to see that as well. And then Jill, if you want to go up to the top. I just want to highlight, go down just a little bit more to the events calendar button.
Okay.
Yeah, and then click on that. So this is something new that we did this year, thanks to suggestions from our awareness work group. If you want to hit the arrow to September. So this is where if you have something planned in your local community, you can click that Submit Your Event button at the top there. And then you just fill out a short form. It just asks the date, time, location, kind of a brief summary of what your event is going to be. And then once you submit that, it will show up on this calendar here. So we have a couple submitted already. Freedom from Falls, Only Leaves Should Fall, which we've talked about already today. So if you have, and there's a couple more on there as well, if you have something that you're doing in your local community that you want to highlight, this calendar is available for not only you all as people working in falls prevention, throughout the state, but then also for any older adult or family member that visits the Falls Free Wisconsin website, they can see this as well. And I am promoting those to the people that subscribe to the website so they can see what's all going on. This will go on our Facebook page as it gets a little bit closer to Falls Prevention Awareness Month. But again, just a really great opportunity for you to market what's happening in your local community just by filling out that very brief survey and submitting your event. So another opportunity to share what's going on for people to find those local resources. I just want to go to a couple of different sections on the website too, since we were talking about them during this webinar. So Jill, if you want to go to the top and the for professionals and then best practices page, we'll start there. And you scroll all the way to the bottom. So there's a question about the Mugs for Rugs program. So we have some local examples here. If you're interested in learning more about Mugs for Rugs, or there's that Falls Prevention Awareness Month example there too, which I believe is Dane County's example from last year. Healthy Aging Your Way, which is Portage County's Falls Prevention Awareness Month event from last year. Just kind of anything. We're working on adding some more to these as well. But if you're interested in learning more about how people are implementing different things like this or the Mugs for Rugs locally, you can check that out there too. And if you go back to the top and then go to the For Professionals data page, I'll share where you can find some local county data as well. So this is our data page for the coalition. We have Falls data by county on here. So you can look at some different data points. If you click on just a county on the map, it pops up with rates of hospitalizations and emergency department deaths, things like that. And then if you scroll down just a little bit more, you'll see there's a button that goes to a full Falls data by county PDF. So you can always click on that and download that. And then you can also look at the other available data sources, or you can also reach out to me and the coalition and we can kind of point you in the right direction if there's something you're looking for specifically. We're happy to help you find that data as well. Any questions about the website or any of the promotional resources available? Okay, well then I'm going to take back over sharing and share one more thing that we have available for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. So new this year as well, our awareness work group held a placemat contest. So we started asking for submissions for local communities, organizations, falls prevention coalitions to submit a placemat design for our placemat contest, and we will be awarding the top 3 winners of the submitted placemats with some monetary prizes to help fund the printing of their placemats in their local communities. But these placemats will soon be available on the Falls Free Wisconsin website on the promotional resources page that we just shared, and they will be available for you to use and download and print out for use in your local communities, whether you use them at dining sites or with diners in the area or restaurants or different events. So I just wanted to share those. They're not fully finalized yet. Our deadline for submissions was just, I believe, last week or a week and a half ago or so. And we had our judges looking at the contest submissions just last week. So they will be available soon on the Falls Free Wisconsin website, and when they are available, an email will be sent out. But I just wanted to share the great submissions that we did get. We got 8 submissions, which is great for our first year doing this. So I'll just kind of go through these a little bit. We did have some submission requirements. So they're required to have the Falls Free Wisconsin website and logo and address the theme from awareness to action. So you'll see a little bit of that on there too. So lots of great examples here, some word searches, information about falls prevention and programs, different tips about different things like stepping on or footwear, home safety, and really addressing those 6 steps to prevent a fall. There are some that are editable as well. So you'll see on this one here, On the right, that's Portage County's falls prevention event information. If you have a local event that you're doing, you can take this PDF and you can edit it and include your local information. Or if you have a stepping on workshop or bingo size class coming up, you can always add that information in there as well. Some really creative games on here. I don't have the creativity to come up with some things like this, but this is a fun little board game type placemat. Another board game like placemat here. Again, some really, really creative people submitted these to the contest. And this is the last one here. So again, lots of different games and lots of information for you to use in your local community to spread the word about falls prevention. Not only in September, these can be used throughout the years as well to kind of spread that word a little bit further than just in September. So I believe that's all the different things that we have for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. So really just wanted to hear from everyone that's on the call, if there's anyone that's doing something a little bit different or wants to share. If you haven't shared already, feel free to come off of mute or drop your plans in the chat. We'd love to hear about them. Give everyone just a minute or so to do that. I will share just while I'm waiting for everyone else to share their plans. I was on La Crosse County's Falls Prevention Coalition meeting last week, and they are planning to do a falls prevention fashion show. So really hoping to have them present next year on what they kind of learned from their fashion show. They said it was an AI generated idea, but their plan so far at least is to have some like different footwear or different tools like walking sticks that they're going to have as a fashion show at one of their events. So super cool to hear about that. Question in the chat, have a target date for the placemat contest. So that submission deadline is over, and then I'm hoping to have the placemats on the Falls Through Wisconsin website by the end of this week, hopefully. So then people can start to plan and print those for September. Oh, yep, great point, Bill. We do have Falls for Wisconsin billboards going on throughout the state as well. There's 3 different billboards in some high traffic areas throughout the state. So again, like Bill said, a great timing to get your event on the calendar. So then people that are seeing those billboards, they're going to the Falls for Wisconsin website. We'll be getting more traffic as well since we have our paid advertisement happening in the next few weeks as well, which will be driving people to our website. So a really great reminder to get those events on the website so that people can see them throughout the state. Any other questions or anything that anyone wants to share about their plans for Falls Prevention Awareness Month? Okay. I'm just going to wrap up a little bit with just a quick reminder. You've probably seen this come out a few times already, but we've been pretty busy as our coalition, doing a number of different things. We'll have a couple of other webinars happening this fall, hopefully, with some additional education coming out throughout the coalition. But this one I wanted to spotlight here since this is pretty pressing. We do have some listening sessions scheduled. We were the recipient of an Innovation in Falls grant with a focus on EMS through the National Council on Aging. So we're developing a toolkit for EMS and community-based organizations, different ways that they can collaborate to prevent falls. So the first step in doing that is hosting some of these listening sessions. So really just getting a better understanding of the landscape of what's happening with our EMS partners when they're responding to falls calls or how that's affecting them. And then we'll be using that to develop this toolkit for EMS and community-based organizations to collaborate and implement some different initiatives in their communities. So we have a few more listening sessions scheduled. one coming up on Wednesday. So if you haven't seen this, if you're able to share with your EMS partners, that would be super helpful so that we can get as much diverse representation in these listening sessions throughout the state as possible. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us. We will be sending out a survey later this fall asking what resources you used in your Falls Prevention Awareness Month efforts. So whether you're using the social media graphics, placemats, or the newsletter articles, whatever it is, just maybe take some notes on what you're using and fill out that survey that'll be coming later this fall, and then share your highlights and any lessons learned with that survey that's coming. But again, all of the resources are on the website. Those placemats, like I said, will be on there hopefully by the end of this week. But always feel free to reach out if you have any questions or even suggestions for materials for this year or coming years. Thanks, everyone.